In this video, we are going to do a driving vlogging tour around Tacoma. Today we are in South Tacoma, east of the freeway.
That's right. So these are going to be streets like South Alaska, South Yakima, Pacific Highway, or Pacific Avenue, I should say, which is Highway 7, McKinley, Portland, and then the streets that run more west to south. That's funny. West to east. Find a street that goes west to south. That's a good one. East to west? Right. Yeah. South 56, South 72nd, South 38th, things like that.
We're going to get that going right now. What's up, everybody? It's Cassandra Lopez with the Living in Tacoma channel. This is my business partner, Darren Rivers. And if you're new to the channel, you're going to want to go ahead and subscribe because this channel is all about living in Tacoma. If you're moving here from out of the area, you've never been here, you kind of want to know what it's like to live here, hit subscribe, tap that little bell so you're notified, and share this video with somebody who you might think would benefit from it. So here we're taking a left onto 74th.
South 74th, which when you cross the freeway here transitions into South 72nd. Just kind of makes a little bit of a jog there over the freeway.
And just for reference, that was I-5.
Correct. And then we're going to come up here, and of course a turn will be missed. But
supposed to take a left right here.
Right. But that's now we're on South Alaska heading north. So Wapato Lake is on the right side there. You can kind of barely see it. There's a big park, picnic area, sand volleyball courts, playgrounds for the kids, things like that. It's a pretty big area. And it's coming very much into a residential area up here. And Alaska's kind of it's a well-traveled road. It's still residential, so people aren't doing 50 or 60 miles an hour, but it's not a quiet little residential street either. It's a thoroughfare going north to south.
Yeah, it's like one of the main arterials.
Correct. So all of these homes were built, well, all of them, gosh, they're, anywhere from the 20s and then into the 60s. It's just a hodgepodge. There's no HOAs or anything like that, no real design codes, if you will, as far as architecture. So you see a wide variety of homes in this area. It's a middle school on the left, and we're approaching South 48th Street at the light right here.
It's always fun to follow along on Google Maps, get your bearings, find out where you are.
I think it's fun to follow green Porsches that are right in front of us.
We talked about, like, find a green Porsche. No offense if you own a green Porsche.
Or if you're a guy in front of us.
Yeah, or if you were the guy in front of us.
So we're going to come up here and make a right on South 38th Street heading more east. And we're going to make that turn right up here. But South 38th has much more businesses on it. There's some restaurants, a grocery store, gas stations. There's some homes on it. It's very much a mixed-use kind of area.
Yeah, and we're headed east right now. So just for reference, away from I-5, eastbound.
Correct. So we just crossed South M Street. There's a Safeway on the right there. The Burger Barn and just kind of things like that. And then we're coming up to an area up here, which is kind of a little Asian district, actually. There's an Asian market and a couple Asian restaurants, things like that.
Good food.
So we just turned right. So now we're heading south on South Thompson, which is going to make a jog over here pretty quick and become South Yakima. And this runs parallel with Alaska that we were on just a few minutes ago. And it's just another kind of a main thoroughfare running north to south with very much residential around you, though.
We got lucky with the cloud being in the way from the sun, so we don't get blasted from the sun rays.
Now that you say that, it'll probably come out and we'll be blasted.
Yeah. Oh, they're really close.
And we're really not going that fast, even though it looks like we're doing 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, these are just, I think, 35-mile-an-hour roads.
So when you cross the main intersections here, like that was South 56th Street, there always tends to be a 7-Eleven or, some sort of a little strip mall on those. But for the most part, southeast Tacoma is it's mainly residential with little spots here and there of some industrial or retail type areas.
So some neighboring towns to southeast Tacoma would be Spanaway, Puyallup,
Parkland.
Yeah, we'll kind of hit those up towards the end, I think. Highway 7 and all that.
Correct.
So yeah, just another residential road, but highly traveled. So expect a little traffic on this.
So we just turned left on South 72nd here.
Which is actually kind of where we started. South 74th turns into South 72nd. So now we're back on that.
Correct. If you're on the east side of I-5, it's South 72nd. The west side of I-5, that same road is South 74th. Like I said, it just makes that jog there.
Just to keep it interesting.
So we're going to make a left here this is Pacific Avenue, which is also Highway 7. So if we were going the other direction, you could literally drive towards Mount Rainier. It would take a long time to get there. But this is a much busier road. Obviously, it's a 4-lane road. There are homes on this, but there's a lot of little businesses on the sides of this as well.
So Highway 7 over the years has undergone a lot of zoning changes and stuff. And it's pretty obvious when you look at the style of structures and the use of the building. So, you'll have business, home, business, and then maybe the home is actually, a lawyer's office or something.
A lot of homes have been converted to small businesses, whether it be accounting firms or attorney's offices or whatever it may be. Dentist's office even sometimes in there. And then, there's some apartment buildings and assisted living facilities. You name it, you could find it on this road.
But really walkable. As you can see, there's pretty much, a grocery store or a gas station or, some kind of small retail within walking distance of wherever.
And this would obviously have the public transit with buses and everything going up and down this. So again, we're just doing a zigzag. We're going to go up to 38th and we'll hang another right.
Yeah, we're going north right now.
So we are on South 38th, heading further east, and now we're really in truly East Tacoma. Now these addresses are no longer addressed like south, they're addressed east. So we're coming up on a very old fire station right here on the right. That thing was built in 1909. It's Station 11, and now we just turned onto McKinley. So this is McKinley Avenue East.
That's one thing I had to get used to big time when I moved here, because being from California, as you know, because you're from California, in where I grew up, we didn't have directionals on any of the roads anywhere. And so here it's East 19th Street East or something really confusing, but there's also an East 19th Street West. And so if you get it wrong, mail goes to the wrong house or whatever.
Right. And the dividing line in Tacoma for that east versus south, or if you go enough north is Pacific. That's the divider. Anything east of that has an east directional with the streets.
Yeah, that's a good geographic marker. So anything east of Highway 7, which is Pacific Avenue.
Correct. Yeah. So this is McKinley, like I said, heading south. Again, kind of the same theme as before. A lot of residential, but some businesses here and there.
And kind of the trend, and this is with Seattle as well, that the farther you get away from the city, just the city center of Tacoma and the city limits, typically the more affordable the housing gets. I think the exception with that would be going westbound to University Place in Stillicon. Those are still some very pricey areas.
Right, and you got to realize when you're going over that direction, you start getting views of the mountains, of the Olympic Mountains, views of the Sound, sunsets, things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of really nice properties over that direction.
Yeah, in this area of Tacoma, this area of South Tacoma, and this being southeast Tacoma, kind of the further east you go, which we just turned left and headed further east here again, the price point does kind of go down a bit. The neighborhoods get a little bit rougher.
And so we're heading east, and we're going to hit Portland, and then we're going to go north on Portland here.
That's kind of a general trend no matter what city or town you're in. It's like the crime rate and the property values are inversely proportional, you know? Like crime
100%.
goes up, property values go down, and vice versa. It's just a trend nationwide and probably worldwide. I mean, that's just the thing.
But it's a pretty day.
It was a pretty day. We really lucked out.
Cold.
We did. We had a cold wave.
So if you're not from Washington, that's one thing in the wintertime to kind of keep in mind. And I know Cassandra's hit this on other of her videos about the weather, but clear winter days tend to be colder. The clouds don't keep the heat in, you know, they're kind of an insulation layer. And when it's clear like that, it might be nice during the day, but man, it gets cold at night.
Yeah, it gets cold and you're waking up to frost on the ground. And I know probably there's a lot of people watching who live in the Midwest and the Northeast.
They're laughing at us.
We do winters.
Yeah.
You know, like we're kind of babies about it over here.
But there's those of us from Southern California or Arizona or anywhere in the South where you're wearing shorts in December because it's, 65 or 70 degrees outside. That's not typical for us.
Well, we do have a lot of snowbirds that live here that are here for the summer and fall, and then the winter and spring they go down.
Right.
They fly down like the geese do. To warmer states like Florida or Arizona. That was funny.
Down like the geese do. Huh.
The geese are coming back. It's getting into springtime, so we're watching them migrate. It's fun.
They don't need to come back.
I love the geese.
They screw up the golf courses.
They're beautiful.
We're just gonna bicker here.
You know
for
they're
you.
related to swans. They're like cousins of the swans. They are.
Welcome to the Tacoma channel. So anyway, we're heading back up Portland. What the freeway we're coming up to here is I-5. And once we cross under this, we're really out of South Tacoma now, Southeast Tacoma. And this is coming very much into the port.
If you like that video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Tap that little bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. Share this with a friend. Let me know if you want to see a video that I haven't done yet. Type it in the comments. I'll be sure to respond. Have a good one. Bye for now.
Bye.